I managed NTUC Income for 30 years. With the help of colleagues, we grew the assets 600 times from $28 million to $17 billion when I left in 2007. We use cooperative principles to manage NTUC Income. We work in the best interest of policyholders. Although Income had shareholders, the dividends paid to them was restricted by law and averaged 6% over the years. We adopted another important strategy to keep operating expenses at a low level. We pay commission to our insurance agents at lower than market rates. This allowed us to reduce the premium rates charged to policyholders. We provided strong office support to help the agents to increase the volume of their sales so that their earnings were adequate to make a living. We also run the cooperative frugally, following the example set by our founder, Dr. Goh Keng Swee. We did not spend large sums of money on computer systems, on management consultants, and on large-scale advertising. I drew a salary about half of my counterpart in the insurance industry, and that set the scale for the other managers. Although they were paid modestly, our managers carried out their work competently and with dedication, and helped me to build up the business. These factors allowed NTUC Income to give a good deal to the policyholders. During the past years, most policyholders received a yield of more than 5% per annum on the maturity of their policies, compared to similar policies taken with other insurance companies. The payout from NTUC Income is about 20% higher. I know of this difference because there were a few cases of actual policyholders who have taken similar policies from NTUC Income and other insurance companies and had carried them to the maturity date. Policyholders who had to terminate their policy earlier also received higher payout in their cash values from NTUC Income. This is how we benefited our policyholders. After I left NTUC Income, I was criticized for operating non-core insurance business. I wish to explain why this criticism is unjustified. The concept of operating these activities under the banner more than insurance was approved by the board and had been reported in the annual reports over the years. Most of these activities involve small sums of money and were aimed at providing benefits to improve the lifestyle of the policyholders. They provided free publicity and awareness for NTUC Income, which were probably worth more than the money spent directly in running these activities. Some of the successful activities include home services to get plumbers, electricians, and other contractors to provide service to the policyholders at fair charges. Car sharing to allow members to share the use of a fleet of cars at a much lower cost than car ownership. iShop to sell gift items to policyholders and insurance agents at specially discounted prices. Some activities took a longer time to succeed. We invested in Snow City and sold it off at a small loss after a few years. I understand that it is now operating successfully under the new owner. Some other activities were discontinued after a while, but the amount invested and written off was small. These activities were run by specially recruited managers and did not take the time of the core insurance managers. Many large organizations have subsidiaries to carry out their spin-off activities. We were similar in this respect, except that our scale of investment was much smaller. Over the years, NTUC Income achieved a good rate of return on our investments in properties, equities, and bonds, above 6% per annum. During this time, there were many good investments and a few bad ones. All of the major investments had to be approved by the board of directors. I was unfairly criticized for a few bad investments, particularly the investment in Club Nuansa and in Ciputra Mall. These two investments caused us to write off perhaps $30 million. They may appear large, but they were more than offset by over $1 billion of investment gains from other property and equity investments. Over the second half of my career, I had to struggle with a few key members of the board and some union leaders on the question of the privatization of NTUC Income. This followed the privatization of the cooperative running the taxi service. I felt strongly that NTUC Income should not follow this route and that the privatization would be detrimental to its 1 million policyholders. Singaporeans need only to see the operations of the privatized bus and train services to understand why I had fought so hard for NTUC Income to remain a cooperative. In the earlier years, I had the support of many members of the board from the trade union movement. They understand the need for NTUC Income to remain a cooperative society. The influence of the trade union directors diminished over the years as more directors were taken from outside for their management and professional experience. Coming from the private sector, they did not understand the cooperative principles so passionately. In September 2006, the chairman of the board told me that the board had decided to search for a new chief executive officer to take over NTUC Income on the completion of my 30 years of service. I accepted that decision as it was best for NTUC Income to search for a new direction for the future. I hope that this statement will help to answer some of the negative views in the internet and the mainstream media of my stewardship of NTUC Income. I wish to ask the policyholders of NTUC Income and your family members to remember my past contribution and to seek your support in the presidential election to be held later this month. Thank you.